We were part of the Georgia National Legion, the 102nd Ukrainian Territorial Defense. Okay? Our base got fucked up. The base right next to us got fucked up. Americans, British, tons of British dead. All right? They're not saying nothing. They're counting our dead as their dead. They're trying to send us to Kiev with no weapons, no kit, no plates. The people who are lucky enough to get weapons are only getting magazines with like 10 rounds, okay? When they wanted to send us to Kiev, we said no. Our whole group, a bunch of Americans, Canadians, British. So they told us we had to get the out or they were going to shoot us in the back, all right? So me, this British guy, and another American, we hid in the back of an ambulance to get out. We got to the border, and it was a whole nother mess.
Lots of messes going on there for Henry Hooft, who took off to Ukraine, as he pointed out there, and found himself in a huge mess looking to fight there on the Ukrainian side to help them out. Now, he continued on with his story about how he actually eventually did escape and get away from that really bad situation. Watch the rest of this.
When you get to the border, anyone who has kit, anyone who has any military, they're pulling you out of the line and they're sending you back to the front. We got dropped off about 5 clicks from the border, and we walked. And we get to the border, and this humanitarian group with a bunch of ex-SF veterans from England pull us to the side and say, you need to get, pulled us out and hit us. And they were like, you need to dump all your kit. And they're pulling people out, cutting up passports, sending them back. So we dumped our, we got in all of our, we got in Red Cross vests, and they had humanitarian passes to get us through the Ukrainian border. People need to stop coming here. It's a trap, and they're not letting you leave. The best way to leave is in a Vic or a car or something. People who get on by vehicle have a better chance of hiding their kit in the back, doing whatever they can, but do not try to leave Ukraine on foot if you're a volunteer. It's a mess, and it's a trap.
Apparently it's a trap, it's a trap, it's a trap. Apparently this cautionary tale from Henry, he wants to tell everyone not to show up. This is a horrible situation. They're tricking everyone. That's gonna come back in just a second. But I want to tell you guys more about how this happened, because there was a lot of self-promotion there from Henry as he was leaving. And Columbus Dispatch did give him quite a glowing article as he was about to take off. So this piece from that Columbus Dispatch described him appealingly as, quote, a former infantryman in the US Army and half Ukrainian on his father's side. It enabled Hooft to pose as an important actor in the global stage. He said, quote, we feel like if we can hold Putin for long enough, we can possibly stop a world war, Rambo style. Hooft insisted that he was committed to the cause. I will be there for as long as it takes. And the Dispatch played up his personal sacrifice. It quoted him as saying, this is who I am. The Publicity helped Hooft raise at least $5,000 on Give, Send, Go, which is a Christian fundraising alternative to GoFundMe, to fund his foreign escapade, his war tourism, if you would. Now, okay, many people could see this guy as a guy who's willing to sacrifice himself for the cause. Here's one of the twists to Henry's background. Hooft is known by the alias Henry Locke. That's among the Boogaloo Boys, who's a loosely organized, heavily armed revolutionary movement that expresses its violent aims through an ironic filter. According to the Justice Department, the term Boogaloo itself references an impending second civil war in the United States, and it's associated with violent uprisings against the government. The Southern Poverty Law Center has traced racist origins of the Boogaloo coinage, noting that the term is regularly deployed by white nationalists and neo-Nazis who want to see society descend into chaos so that they can come to power and build a new fascist state. Now, one more before I let you get response here, David, is his claims. They're already being circulated around as I talk. This is what's coming back to him. Circulated as propaganda for the Russian side, which is a prominent extremism researcher has tracked the video across forums on Telegram and the Russian social media platform VK, and that used Hooft's claims to mock foreign fighters in Ukraine, maybe potentially tell people that it's a lost cause, don't show up, as Hof was just saying there. There's a lot here. What were your thoughts, David?
My thoughts is there's a lot of Boogaloo boys and also a lot of Proud Boys and a lot of white supremacists who see Vladimir Putin as something of a role model, who say, as Steve Bannon suggested on his show, oh, Vladimir Putin is anti-woke, therefore we should support him. Well, there are a lot of these knuckleheads down the ranks at sort of the lower level who say, oh yeah, Vladimir Putin, yeah, the Russians have it right, we want to be like Russia. Well, maybe this guy, I don't know, maybe he is half Ukrainian, maybe he thought that he was gonna do something to sort of help in this battle, or maybe he's just making all of this up, I'm not sure, but clearly this is a guy who realizes that when you're a mercenary, things don't always go according to plan. And you have to be very careful because yes, you are under Ukrainian ranks and maybe he decided he didn't want to fight the war they were fighting it. But this guy's credibility is not to be believed. The Boogaloos are not to be believed. The Proud Boys are not to be believed when it comes to the position on Putin and Ukraine. And so yes, the only thing this guy is right about is that it's a mess and then he's a mess.
Well, he's dove in. There's another one actually who didn't have the same experience. Another Boogaloo boy who doesn't like Henry's particular perspective. Let's read these two quotes really fast. So as Hoft's message spread, Mike Dunn, another Boogaloo boy, he soon posted on his own TikTok and he blasted his brother's quote misinformation. I've been in and out of Ukraine twice in the last 3 or 4 days. I'm with the local militia unit. I've had no issues with my passport being torn up, as Henry pointed out there earlier. Also, the Georgia National Legion never threatened to kill me or harm me in any shape, form, or fashion. I can't illegitimize his words, Henry's story 1000%, but I can say from my own perspective that it didn't happen to me. Now, one more part about this, Dunn also pointed out they didn't like people that had a social media presence. He said, I agree with that, that's true. I think the reason for that might be because they don't want people coming across talking about, hey, for my TikTok and for my next war post to go viral, here I am with the Georgia, the Guard Legion, and we're gonna make sure we beat Putin's ass. Like, this is what this has turned into. Now you need to have self-promotion. You need the Columbus Dispatch to point out how you're a Rambo and you're gonna raise money and you're gonna be this guy to come save the world. If you're committed to it, go do it. Just go do it. Why is that to be promotional?
Why do you have to raise money? I mean, I feel people for all those folks who gave him 15, 20 bucks to say, yeah, go ahead and fight for the Ukrainians. And this guy was hoodwinking them perhaps. And then he goes over and he doesn't really like it, and he doesn't really like how he's being treated maybe, and clearly somebody who's in his unit is accusing him of disinformation. It sounds like this guy simply wanted an adventure, hoodwinked people in the United States through GoFundMe or whatever it was, raised some money so that he could go over and claim to be fighting a war, and then thought, okay, well now I can really sort of help the Russians who maybe he really supports. It's the whole thing smells.